Hey everyone, welcome back to the OceanLovers podcast. This is episode 4. We are so excited. Kirstie here, and I'm here with Erica Page.
Hi guys, I'm really excited to get started today.
This episode is going to be probably the best one yet. I feel like so many people are also looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why it's like we're so amped up about it, because there's so many people that have commented on our recent photos and they're excited to hear about your trip, and I've been excited. And this is if you think about it too, this is the longest we've gone without recording.
I know.
Since we started.
When did we record last? It's been over a week, right? It's been like 8 days.
Yes, it was last Monday that we uploaded it.
Yeah, 9 days. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited to be talking to you. And oh my gosh, you guys, people listening, like, I am so appreciative. I can't even explain. Like, the messages that we've been getting are incredible. Like,
it's an amazing feeling for sure.
We both just answered a message from a woman who's listening to us in Ohio. And
yes, shout out to Emily.
Yes, hi Emily. And then my friend Namita messaged me. She's somebody that I used to work with on Whale Watch Kaikoura in New Zealand.
That is so cool.
And I haven't really got to catch up with her since I left New Zealand. And the message she sent is just so sweet. It's just amazing.
It is amazing.
So thank you guys.
It's amazing to hear like where everybody's from. That everybody from different parts of the world are contacting us, or if not contacting us, they're at least listening. Because we, as of right now, we're up to 10 countries that are listening right now.
So
and that
cool.
Is so crazy, and we're just now on episode 4.
Yeah,
like that is so amazing.
It's becoming really cool. So we are very appreciative, and keep sending us messages.
Yes.
I'm at Planet Whale. Kirstie, I looked up yours and it has an underscore.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I was like confused the last time. Hold on. Yeah, mine is Kirstie B _7. So it's KIRSTIE. A lot of people spell it wrong, so thought I'd just throw it out there. But you'll be able to see it. My my picture is me on a boat. Erica,
that's on Sanctuary.
You took that picture of me.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Because I've seen that picture and I could tell it was Sanctuary because of like the blue boat. And I thought in my head, I was like, was I there that day?
Oh my gosh, that was the day we met. And I remember we talked for a little bit, and I like randomly turned around and asked you, "Can you take a picture of me?"
Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious.
That is really funny.
I did not realize that until I looked at it right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's awesome. And wait, did I say mine is Planet Whale? I can't remember if I said that or not.
Yes.
So it is. Yep. And then our podcast one is at OceanLovers podcast. Yes. Yeah. So check us out.
Yeah, we've been getting new followers from all over, a couple here and there, and it's awesome. We love that you guys are following us on Instagram, and we try to reply to every comment. So if you guys leave questions or topic suggestions, definitely leave them on whatever latest post we have, because we definitely read them. We read the messages, and we love it.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay! Yes, thank you guys so much. Okay, so
let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
I don't even know where to start, but I guess we can start with just you leaving. Like, just the anticipation of what was going on in your mind.
Yeah, okay. So just to explain to everybody what we're talking about, if you haven't listened to the last episode, I was getting ready in the last episode to go down to Baja, California in Mexico, where gray whales go to breed. They go to breed, give birth to their calves, raise their calves. So they're not feeding when they're down there. So it's just a lot of just extra time, and I've never seen whales in their breeding grounds. I've only seen them in their feeding grounds. And so I was really excited for this like totally new experience, because I know not everybody is as obsessed with whales as I am, but this is
it's a big
huge deal. It's just like it's literally crossing the number one thing off my bucket list. So if you can imagine,
100%.
If you can imagine whatever you like to do, if you like to draw and you won in an art contest, or if you like won a medal, it feels like that to me. This is like the biggest like thing I can do, like achievement. The next biggest thing I want to do is go to Tonga to swim with the humpback whales.
Oh, I've seen that. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
Chase Decker
He goes
do
there.
some of those
Yeah,
trips?
I
Okay.
don't know. He may lead photography
I
trips there. I'm
could
not sure, but I know he does go. I think he might actually shoot for Nat Geo.
Yeah, I could have sworn I just saw something a few months back
Yeah.
that he was planning on I don't know if he collaborates with someone or if he is somehow partnered up with them to where he gets a group out. But yeah, I remember him posting something about it, and it just the
Oh
pictures,
man.
the pictures he had was just
He is a phenomenal photographer.
he really
We're
is.
talking about Chase Decker. If you want to check him
Yes.
out, his Instagram is at Chase Decker. We'll tag him.
Yes.
I hope he listens because I used to work with him on Sanctuary, and you met him a bunch of
Yeah.
times, and he's a
And he
really,
did the
really,
photography workshops.
yeah, and he's so
Oh,
nice.
and speaking of photography workshops, oh my God, we're like already getting off topic.
I know.
But
we'll get there.
that's okay. Well, we haven't talked in over a week, so
I know we've got to catch up, and we didn't do this before the podcast.
No. So it's funny that you say that, or that it's brought up, because right before I called you, I actually saw Sanctuary Cruises posted something on Facebook that they're doing a sunrise workshop.
My gosh, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, so I might try to look into that, try to get some workshops in. I'll try to contact Captain Mike, see if I can tag along.
Yeah, definitely. He would totally let you. Also, have you, I don't know, I think they are running them this year. Have you been on their Great White Shark Tour?
No, I have not.
Oh my
I really
goodness.
want to, but I haven't
I
yet.
got to run some of those, maybe like 2 or 3 when I was up there to go see the Great White Sharks. And it was so awesome. Yeah.
Were they like super active at that time?
No, they aren't super active when they're there. They're actually juveniles, so they're young, and they still eat fish. They don't eat mammals yet. So there's swimmers. There's people swimming out there. Like, it's kind of crazy because some of them, like the ones we saw, were like probably 6 feet long.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that's still small for a great white shark. But
yeah, that's true. But just to see them there is probably like unreal.
Oh my gosh, it's the coolest. I actually saw a great white shark eat a sea lion out there. It was right. Okay, this was right off the rocks in Moss Landing, like the second you leave the harbor. You know, there's that red navigational buoy, and it was right there. We saw it. I have photographs. It's on my Instagram.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was bloody. It was really cool. But anyway, okay, totally off topic. So sorry about that. But I think people might be interested to hear that, like, Sanctuary Cruises offers Great White Shark Tours if you're in the area.
It's funny that you say that because I've been seeing a lot of different like shark articles, and I thought it'd be really cool to just dedicate an episode about sharks.
Yes, I would love to learn more about sharks.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, I actually just saw an article today about something. It was a scallop shark, but I'll wait to talk about that. It was a hammerhead shark. Sorry, a scallop hammerhead shark. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I guess they did some studies in Hawaii about them, but I figured I saved the articles that way we could talk about it later.
Cool.
At a different one.
Sounds good. Yes, let's do a shark episode coming soon. People like that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So back on track.
So you're in the airport and your mind's going crazy.
Yes, it was. I was so excited. I was so excited. But it didn't really feel real until like we were in the airport, because I had been working and just busy and whatever. And yeah, so I didn't pack like until the day before, which is a little bit unusual. Sometimes sometimes I pack like a month in advance. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so I was just, I don't know, I was just really, really, really excited. Yeah. But it was also a little bit challenging because I haven't traveled to another country that doesn't speak English since I was since I was like 21, maybe. And so it was really cool to like be thrown back into that, because I don't know, I really enjoy that feeling of like not like not speaking the language, but just
being
like
away from what you're used to.
Well, that, and just like, yeah, I don't know. It's a really cool thing to experience, so that you understand how people who don't speak English feel. You know, like it gives you a new appreciation for people here who like speak little English. It just makes me very, very, very impressed that they even know English at all, because we went down there not speaking a word of Spanish except like gracias and and like I learned ballena gris, which means gray whale, and and so it was just it was a really cool experience going to Mexico. That was my first time in Mexico. But yeah, it was really, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So anyway, so the airport, we left at like a little after midnight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were you able to sleep on the plane?
Not well. Yeah, but a little bit. But we got down there, and then we got there at like 2 p.m, their time. There was a 2-hour time change. And we had to rent a car, so we had to do all that in Spanish, and it was really difficult.
Oh wow.
And we may have gotten ripped off a little bit, but that's I'll tell you about that later. They sold us insurance twice, and we bought it twice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. So we're dealing with that. But anyway, that was the only challenge really of the entire trip. It was so just it kind of changed my life a little bit. Like, I don't know, every experience that you get that's big like that really does change your life in some way. I still refer to all the time. I was just talking to Emily about this. Getting certified in scuba diving in Fiji happened when I was 21, and I still think about it almost every single day. It's weird, but experiences like that. So, and this is one of them. So that's why this podcast is like a big deal, because this was a life-changing moment for me. If you can imagine, I just wonder what the equivalent is to people who aren't interested in whales, like what would that be? Like in somebody else's world who's really obsessed with, like, I don't know, basketball. Would it be going to see like your favorite team play? I don't know. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so we get down there, we finally get to our hotel, and it is just so beautiful. It's
because you guys were pretty close to the water, right?
We had a private beach, and this was a cheap hotel, if you can believe that. It was, so the problem about going down here, and this makes me feel like, because I did get to accomplish this trip, it's like, it's a very expensive trip, it is expensive, and somehow we managed to pay for it, and my boyfriend and I literally live like paycheck to paycheck, but this was a priority, this was like something that you give up something so that you can have something else. That was kind of this experience. Like, my boyfriend worked.
He just made it happen.
He worked really, really hard to make this happen, because, like I said in the last episode, he surprised me with this trip for my birthday back in November. So we've been looking forward to this trip since November.
Yeah.
And it was just extra sweet because he, planned it, and it was amazing. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't even. Ladies, if you're not in a relationship that your partner makes you feel just like the most important person in the world, like, I don't know, it's achievable. It happens to some people. Like,
it's out
I want that for everybody. I don't know. It sounds cheesy, but I'm really appreciative and lucky.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So now we're giving relationship advice to anybody out there.
Oh my gosh, I know. That's on a whale podcast.
Right.
I don't know. Whales equals love, in my opinion.
Exactly.
But anyway. Totally off track.
That is so funny.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, I love it.
I know. But anyway, so that's just another reason why this trip was just, a little life changing.
Got to enjoy it together.
Yeah, it was amazing. But anyway, so, but it was the off season there. So that's why our hotel was, I don't know, it's weird because, like, this is when the whales are there.
Right.
But we actually stayed in La Paz. So we stayed 3.5 hours away from where the whales were. So we drove, that morning and that night. So we drove 7 hours in that day to go see these whales, but it was worth it 1,000%. So that's why it was a little more inexpensive, because we were far away from that, and it was off season. So, but that's why the hotel was so amazing, because we were like, there was like 3 other couples staying there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was just, we had our own beach. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's insane.
And we had free kayaks that we could rent. So we went kayaking on these coral reefs. And
did you get GoPro footage of that?
I did. It is
awesome.
Beautiful. Like, I need to post it, but I'm a little bit overwhelmed with how much footage I have. And
take your time with it.
That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know if I want to just like bombard all my footage onto my Instagram. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
as if it matters. Space it out too. That way, if you have like if you have some footage of coral reefs, we can put it on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram later if we talk about coral reefs, which I'm sure we will.
We should. Yes. Well, that's important. We really should talk about that. And that kind of has to do with like, we teach kids about that on our science cruises because they test the pH of the ocean, and acidification of the ocean causes calcium carbonate shells to dissolve, basically, which is like what all of the shellfish in the world and snails and everything are made of. So anyway, we'll talk about that.
So I'm curious too, of Baja. So I'm kind of thinking, because you said that's like the off season in that area. I just feel like maybe there's just not enough people that know about these gray whales and the experience you can get here. I mean, it could be a good and bad thing. I could see it being a good thing just because then you're not having a bunch of people trying to book it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they do regulate it very well.
They do.
So I feel like even if it's not like a bunch of people can just go out there anyway. So I guess there's really not a con to it.
Well, I think part of it too is that we went to Magdalena Bay, which is all the way down. It's the last lagoon that's like all the way south of Baja. So it's like the last one down. And most people go to San Ignacio, which is like the first lagoon down. So when you're from California, it's a little bit more convenient to get to San Ignacio rather than Magdalena Bay, which I don't know if my boyfriend Cameron knew that when he booked. So I don't know. But anyway, it was so worth it. It was so worth it to go all the way down there. It was beyond anything in my wildest dreams. It's just crazy. Awesome. Yeah. And
so do you want to talk about like stuff that you did leading up to it, or do you just want to talk
let's talk about the experience? Yeah. Perfect. So do you want me to do the whale sharks in this episode, or should we save it?
You know, I say let's just save it.
Yeah. Okay. Good idea. Let's just focus on the whales. But oh my gosh. Cool. So I also got to snorkel with a whale shark 2 days before the whales, or 3 days before the whales. And that also was like, before I had done the whales, the whale shark was at the top of my list. So
yeah, I love them. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, we'll talk about that on another one. So I'll just talk about the whales. So basically, I really, it's funny because I haven't told anyone about my experience yet because I've been saving it for the podcast.
I know.
As funny as that is, like, I don't know. I didn't want to ruin it by like talking about it 100 times, to everyone who asked. So I was just like, I'm going to wait and I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. So I've never recalled my experience yet. So it's going to be really interesting.
It's funny because I was actually going to mention that. So for those of you listening, Erica has barely told me anything about this trip, and it's been killing me. I'm just sitting there like, okay, I don't want to text her because I know she's on vacation, but oh my God, like I need something. I need a picture. I need a video.
I know.
So I don't know.
Well, you got to see everything before anyone else did.
True. I saw the whale, you're diving with the whale sharks. I did see that. And I did see the
video
gray whale footage.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, but that was it. Like we didn't really talk too much in like detail about anything, so that's why I'm like super eager to know like what happened. That's why I have questions.
Yes,
I have my iPad ready. I have questions ready.
Yes, ask away. But yeah, so the experience, okay, I have to be completely honest too. So the experience in Magdalena Bay, the little like town we were in, was so like in poverty, and so it was pretty difficult to I don't know,
experience it.
Yeah, just because it was an expensive trip. And so when you go to a little village where their house is a piece of tin leaned against a tree,
Oh, wow.
See
Yeah.
and feel like comfortable with, especially going back to work in Newport Beach, where it's just like honestly like the wealthiest area in the country.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's really really a weird thing.
I can definitely see that.
So that I just want to like mention that because it made me really really think, and it made me really appreciative of everything that I have and like how fortunate we are. So that was a part of the experience too. Just the whole thing of Mexico was just an experience. So top that on top of the whales, it was just, it was a lot.
Things like that, little things that you don't expect will impact, trips like that you go on. It was kind of the little things like that, which I won't talk in this episode, but it like when I went to Peru, it was kind of the same thing.
I was gonna, I want to talk to you more about that trip too, but
it was an amazing trip. Oh my God, I can't talk about it.
I know we will soon, but so that was part of it. But oh my gosh, all over their town, every building had these beautiful murals painted on them, like whale themed.
Oh.
And I got photographs, and I will put them on the Ocean Lover podcast Instagram stories because you have to see them. It's so beautiful.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It was really cool. The entire town. First of all, the tourism from the Whale Watch supports basically the entire like economy of that small town. Okay. Yeah. But it's only run in the winters, because the whales migrate. And so they only have that income half the year. So that's part of it.
Jeez. Okay. I didn't even think about that, to be honest.
Yeah. So there's all that. But so anyway, once we did finally get to the place and we got on the boat, it was me, Cameron, and our captain, who did not speak a word of English. So
no.
But I mean, it was okay. It was totally fine. It was perfect. Like he, could show us where the whales were and stuff. Yeah. But so we get out there, and it was probably an hour drive, I would say, out to like where the whales were. And we kept seeing little snippets on the way. Like we would see a blow in the distance and we get so excited. And then we would see like a mother and calf surface, like probably maybe 100 yards, 200 yards from the boat. And we were like jumping out of our seats. And I knew there's like the captain had something up his sleeve because I know how like captain's brains work. And they just kind of like chuckle a little when they see you getting that excited because they know it's going to get so much better. Yeah. But to you, that's super duper exciting because they do it every day. Like the captain does it every day, So I could just tell that something was up. So I didn't get too excited. I didn't whip out my GoPro yet because I was like, I know that something better is coming. And I kid you not, we pull into this area and he slows the boat down or like shuts the boat off or whatever. And 2 minutes after we pull up, I was touching a whale. I'm not kidding. It was immediate. It was so unexpected because, I prepared myself for this not to happen because I knew that was a possibility. These are wild animals and it's up to them. And so when it happened that quickly, I was in shock. I was like, I can't believe that just happened. So the whale just spotted us coming, came right over to the boat, and what they like to do, I noticed, was the hull of the boat, the underside of the boat on the bow, so like the front of the boat, that pointy edge, they scrape their bodies along it to try to get the barnacles off.
Oh, okay.
And
so they're just basically using the boat.
Yes, and I think the humans are just a bonus. I don't know, but because they stick their rostrum, their noses up out of the water for you to touch them.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
It is the weirdest thing. Like, they seek out attention from us. Yeah. And I kept thinking in my head, I kept like telling myself, I was like, this is the most majestic creature that has like ever lived on the planet. And this whale has been around for like, I don't know, 45 million years. Right. And it's basically like pretty much, well, not really the same, but like, it's a very like prehistoric animal, I want to say, like the gray whale especially. And the fact that it wants to interact with me, like, it's so incredible. I don't know where else you can find that in nature. Aww. Think about it, like an animal that big, that's that gentle and curious about me. Like, why? It's so amazing. Like, we don't give them enough credit. People do not understand that these animals have a higher intelligence than anyone even knows. And sometimes I had to get over this because I got my degree, my scientific degree. It taught me that when you do research on animals, you can't personify them. because they're not us. So we can only see them through our like human lens, but we have to think factually, and like we can only like publish things that are proven. But I think there's a lot of value for people who have, you know, the amazing opportunity to spend a lot of time with these animals, like people who work on whale watch boats, you know, like we're out there every day with these animals. And even though we're not necessarily collecting valuable data, we are, because we are learning about these animals and how they behave. And
in their own environment.
Yes, and I feel like we maybe know some things that haven't been published yet because it hasn't been proven, but their intelligence is undeniable. For anybody who's ever looked into the eye of a whale, like they are beyond extraordinary creatures. They really, really, really are. And I just want people who listen to this podcast, I want them to learn more about these animals. And it's hard because we did call it the OceanLovers podcast because we care about more than just whales. Everything in their entire ecosystem is so highly important.
Yes.
But personally, whales are my thing.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much everything is probably going to come somewhat back to whales just because that's my life. So.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of how I feel because I wanted this podcast to be very broad because I just love being able to not be constricted to one topic because you don't want to just like run out of something to talk to or talk about, I should say. And the ocean, we know so little about it. So there's never a time where if this is, like we enjoy talking about it, we're never going to be able to run out of something to talk about.
Oh, exactly. Well, yeah,
but
that's exactly it.
My all-time favorite would have to be humpbacks.
And me too.
Knows, maybe that'll change down the road.
I was going to ask you.
Research, but
I was going to ask you what your favorite whale is because it's so funny. Actually, this is actually really cool. In my job interview for my job that I have now, they asked me if my personality would be like represented in a whale, which whale would I be?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the coolest thing? And of course, I said a humpback because they're playful, they're energetic, they're curious, they're, like, I just feel like if I was a whale, I'd be a humpback whale. I just love them. But after this trip, like, I am obsessed with gray whales now. Like, this is so funny. I was thinking of this earlier. So on my left arm, I have 2 big tattoos of whales.
Yeah, your beautiful humpback.
Yeah, I have a humpback and I have an orca.
Oh yeah, the orca was your newest one, wasn't it?
Yes, I got it in October, I think. But anyway, I was thinking in my head, like, I have to get a gray whale.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't come home.
Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, but I love gray whales now, and I always did. It's not like I never didn't like gray whales, but when we see them in this area anyway, they just migrate through. So they're a little bit, and Monterey actually. Monterey is probably why I have the feelings I do because they're very skittish there because they're so vulnerable to orca attacks. That's like where it happens, and I've been there, like when the orca are hunting the baby gray whale calves and separating them from their mothers. And no, if you want National Geographic stuff, like go see that.
I already have a hard time like watching it on TV, but I know that I'm gonna it's funny because we'll be sitting. I'm very much an animal person, and I can't watch anything being hunted or
I know
like
it's
cheetah
hard.
goes out after something. I will like turn my head. Christian's like, babe, you know that you're going to have to see this someday, and I go, I know, but I think it's honestly, I think your mindset changes when you're out there. Like if I was out there on the water. And you're doing your job, and this is something
nature.
You're really passionate about. It's hard, but yet it's just life.
Well, that exactly, and like we have to remember that we love orca. Orcas have to eat.
Yeah,
it's just it's part of life. I don't know. That's what it is, and you see it. It's like it's amazing. It's insane. It's intense, but it's like beautiful and like sad and heartbreaking. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, What were we talking about?
Oh my gosh. Oh, just like the gray whales coming up. But also, I want to throw this in there for those of you that do not know. Here's a little like tidbit fact that in the Pacific Ocean, there's technically 2 different populations of gray whales. So there's one population. I have to look this one up because I don't even know how to pronounce it. They go from they migrate between the Sea of Okhotsk. I probably butchered that. And the Southern Korea area.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, so that's the Western population.
Is there
the
only
population,
isn't there only 30
it's
or
very
something?
small. Yeah, it's very small. It doesn't say it. I don't have it right in front of me in this article, but I know that that's they're endangered, I believe.
Oh, highly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure. I can't really remember for sure. I really need to look this up. If it's more than this, I want to be correct, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure there was only maybe but at least under 100, I want to say. I want to say 30, but
terrible.
that sounds so low.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's why they're not really
small.
Yeah. But that is the only other place, I think. And there was one seen several years back off the coast of Namibia in South Africa, in that area.
Oh, okay.
That's a stray. That doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, sometimes I guess they're wanderers.
Well, I heard that sometimes they'll go into little random not lagoons. What's the word?
Riverbeds, sort of.
Kind of, or
the reason that I say that is because when I worked up in Washington, so there's 4 locations. I'm trying to remember. It was Anacortes, Everett, Port Angeles, and Seattle. And we would kind of I worked in at least a couple times in each of those locations. But I worked in Seattle one winter. Or no. Yeah. Oh. Well, I did, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about Everett, where there's this river where the gray whales swim up into the mouth of the river and feed in the riverbed.
I didn't know they did that.
They bottom feed, so they use their baleen to scoop up mud and sand, bottom sediment, and filter out everything that lives down in the mud. So tube worms, ghost shrimp, different amphipods.
Yeah,
and that's what they eat. And so that's what we would see up in Washington's the gray whales. And there's actually, from Google Earth, you can zoom in on the mouth of that river and see the craters that they make when they go down to feed from Google Earth.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that after.
Yeah, I will look up. I can't remember the name of the river. I used to have to talk about it all the time, and now I can't even remember the name of it. But I will look it up and share it because it's a really, really cool area. So that area and along the Southern California coast is the only places I've seen gray whales before this trip. So it was amazing. So just to kind of go back to just seeing them, when we got to the area we were in, you could not turn your head and not see whales.
Was there really that many?
I'm not exaggerating when I say there was hundreds around.
Of grays?
Of gray whales.
I did not expect them to be that
dense.
To be that many.
I didn't really know what to expect either, but I'm not kidding. It was I had mentioned I talked about her in the last episode, my coworker Wesley. I'd mentioned that I was a little worried that I wouldn't see them or that I wouldn't, they wouldn't interact with us. And she just kind of smiled and she was like, "You will."
Oh my gosh.
Because she's the Ben, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, she's so right. You will experience that if you go to this area." I mean, I say that, but they are wild animals. You might not. It is a possibility, but I'm just saying the chances of this happening are extremely high. They are so interactive. I watched them pick up I say that pick up other boats, but that's literally kind of what they were doing. I watched one whale lay on its side and lift the boat a little bit, and it was spinning the boat in a circle.
Oh my god. No.
Yes, that's what they do. And
please tell me you got that on camera.
I don't know if I got that on camera. I did get it spy hopping next to the boat, so bringing its head up out of the water.
Oh.
so people could touch it, and it was just,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was just insane.
And the weather conditions were good, like when you guys went out on the boat?
It was, so actually it was pretty choppy.
Okay.
Because they're these like protected lagoons, they don't have that swell, so it wasn't like it was like you would get seasick, but it was rough. Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna get the boat ride back actually was really rough. Like I thought I was gonna break my tailbone. It was it was slamming us down. But also this was kind of funny. So on the way back to our where we like left after we'd seen the whales and everything, we were driving past this beautiful like landscape that was just these pure white sand dunes, and it was really cool. It was just like a desert. Okay, it was a desert that we were looking at, and the captain got us stuck in the like in the shallows.
Oh no.
He drove too far like in the shallow water, and I don't know if the tide is going out or what, but he got us stuck in the sand, and so my boyfriend had to jump out and jump into the water and help him push the boat off. I at first was like kind of scared. I was like, what is going on? But
like, is this normal?
Exactly. And I don't think it's normal, because he was like kind of embarrassed after we tried to like tip him. But anyway, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Poor guy. It was perfectly fine though. We did not mind at all. But it was pretty windy and a little bit chilly coming back. But overall it was just it was amazing.
Did they give you those little buckets to where you can splash, or did you just like splash with your hand?
No, I just splashed with my hand. Yeah. And it's so funny because I don't know, it was just so relaxed. Like the only thing that they told us was to put life jackets on. So we did. And then they never gave us another word. Like not another safety thing, nothing that we were going to expect, nothing. We didn't get any like talking about the whales or anything. It was just us.
Like, here you go.
Yeah, but it was
go pet some whales.
Exactly. They didn't even like tell us that was okay. They just they just think because
that's really weird, especially since they're supposed to be like highly regulated. So
well, yeah, I mean,
I guess maybe it just depends on what company you go with.
Yeah,
what boat you're on.
Probably. Yeah. I went out with Magdalena Whales, but I have to say, like, we were so lucky with our guide. He was so respectful of the whales. It was amazing. Like we watched.
And it was just you and your boyfriend on that.
Yeah.
Just you and Cameron. That's crazy.
Yeah,
a little private.
Yeah, but I realized that like all of the boats we saw. All of the boats didn't have more than 4 people. So I don't think they definitely don't take out like big tours of people. No, they don't do that. So I thought it was like different that he was chartering a private boat, but I think that's just like how you do it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I mean, in my experience anyway.
How did it feel?
I know.
Everybody wants to know, how did because there's so many different things that people are saying, like how they feel.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to hear your.
Yeah. I don't know. Remember how we talked about in the last episode that people said it felt like a wet pickle?
Yeah.
It does.
Well, and I believe Slater mentioned in one of his episodes that it felt, I want to say he said it felt like an egg. I think that's what he said.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
Like
I would say like a hard-boiled egg. With oil on it. No. But whale skin does not have oil, but they're like slippery a little bit. Yeah. But this is another example that I have, and I guess only certain people would know what this feels like, perhaps. But I thought of if you press on a really pregnant woman's belly, but her belly was wet and cold. Because you know how like firm it is, but it's still kind of soft.
Yeah,
that's how their skin was.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, it's really interesting. It was really cool, but they were very cold. I mean, they're cold when they're in there. Yeah. The water, I think, was. I mean, it's actually pretty warm. I don't remember how warm they said it was. Maybe 60, 70. I can't remember. It's kind of a big difference, but it's pretty warm. I mean, we went in, so it was kind of. Yeah, I mean, we went in with the whale shark, totally. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So did any of the calves come up?
So that was one thing that I found really interesting. So no, we actually maybe only saw 1 or maybe 2 mother and calf pairs, but the calves never interacted with the boat or anything like that. So we never saw them up close. We only saw like really, really big whales that are like, 40, 50 feet long. It was amazing. But yeah, I was expecting a lot more calves, but
Yeah.
I think somebody at work today said that it's probably because the calves are like still extremely young, like very, very young. They're just being born still. And so
they're not like at that curious stage yet.
Well, not only that, but I think the moms might just still be kind of like protective, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so they don't really like bring them to the boat yet. But I think everybody was saying a little bit later in March is when the calves start interacting with the boats because they're a couple months old at that point. So they're a little bit like stronger, a little bit more confident. So yeah. So I would be
then
really.
We'll have to see what Eric says.
Yes. Yeah, I'm super excited to see his footage. He's gone 4 times, but I get it. I get it now. Like you I think you get the bug. Like once you go down, you you like want to go. And I said that. I was like, I have to go like every year now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I know. Just like knowing you were there, I was like, I have to go next year. That's why I'm saying we need to get people and get a big either. Well, I'm sure the hotel would be cheap anyway.
You know what?
Get like a big Airbnb.
We should like invite everybody who listens to the podcast. If anybody wants to join us next year, like let's try to get this planned.
That would be so awesome.
I do have I really have to like start doing financial things because it was expensive and it was it took a lot of work, but but it was worth it. So if anybody wants to try to put together a trip, I would be more than
so much
keen.
Fun. Yeah.
But
so did you see their barnacles?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Talk about that because I know you talked about that a little bit.
So I'm learning new things. So I learned on one of the whale watching boats the other day when my coworker Delaney, who follow her on Instagram, her Instagram is cetaceans. So some people, a lot of people, I guess, don't know that cetaceans is the scientific order for all the whales and dolphins and porpoise around the world. Yeah. So they're considered, they're called cetaceans. So if you hear that word, that's what that means. And so Delaney's Instagram is cetaceans. So it's like a play off cetacean. It's really cute. So it's C, like S-E-A, tations. So follow her on Instagram. Anyway, I learned something from her that I didn't know before, because gray whales are like a dark gray, but they're spotted. So they have like white spots or like splotches all over their body. So they're like mottled gray. And I always thought that was like natural. I thought they had like, just, I don't know, spotted skin.
Yeah, natural on them.
But I heard her on the microphone when she was doing like a naturalist narration that they get those white spots because it's scarring from barnacles that have like fallen off.
Yeah.
And you could really, really see that when I was up close. Like the white spots that they have are where they've scraped off barnacles and they leave these like discolorations on their skin. It's really interesting, but it goes to show how many freaking barnacles they have on their bodies. All over their bodies. And I've always heard that they can have thousands of pounds of barnacles on their body at one time.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, think about it. These animals are like 40,000 pounds. So if they have like 2,000 pounds of barnacles, that's like hardly anything for them. I mean, ew, that's like having a whole like pound of lice on your head, which is like what they have. But
and you saw all of that, right?
Yeah. So when I stuck the GoPro in, you could see the barnacles open and you could see their like feathery feet sticking out. It was really weird.
Yeah.
It was, it's in the long video that I posted. I haven't posted any shorter ones yet, but it was really, really weird.
That's so cool.
But I thought that I would like have to touch the barnacles and the lice and stuff.
Yeah.
Because just in photos, it looks like that's all there. It looks like there's little patches of skin between, but there's like, they're huge. These whales are massive. Like they have tons of places you can touch.
Oh my gosh.
It was, oh my gosh. And this was probably like one of the coolest things. So I was petting the whale on the top of the head. And like, it's not like you're sitting there petting them, for like a minute. It's like a second. You touch them for a second, and then they're gone. And then one comes over and you touch, and then it's gone. But I was doing that to the top of the head, and it blew its like blowhole right like in my face.
Oh,
And I
no.
looked into the blowhole, and it had a piece of like loose skin that was like blowing in the breeze. And I
No.
wanted so badly to like reach out and touch it.
Oh my
But I
god.
didn't, because I've heard that whales don't like their blowholes touched.
So you basically got some whale snot on you.
Oh, all over us. And it got in my mouth. It was so salty.
Oh
Because
my god.
all it is, like, they're not blowing water out.
Yeah.
They're blowing their air out, and there's condensation in that, but most of what like got in my mouth is like seawater that was sitting on top of their blowholes when they blew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
my
my
captain
gosh.
today on the boat, I went on a trip today, and my captain Taylor, he saw we saw, oh my gosh, it was an amazing day. Actually, just quickly, I want to talk about it. We saw 4 humpback whales and so many common dolphins, and we saw these massive bait balls of anchovies. You could see them under the surface, and they kept going like right under the boat. And we watched the dolphins feed on them. We watched the whales feed on them. But as a humpback whale comes up, my captain Taylor was like, I swear he just blew an anchovy at this blowhole. I was like, they can't actually do that, but maybe the anchovy was on top of the blowhole.
Yeah, it was probably like over it.
It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
oh
my gosh.
For those of people that don't know, this was actually something I wrote down too. That barnacles on humpbacks are way different from barnacles on gray whales. So,
gray whales, I think, have their very own species of barnacle.
Yes. They are called host specific. So basically what that means is that they're not on any other whales. Yeah. So humpbacks have different ones. I would have to pop it up. But also something that I learned is apparently the humpback ones, the barnacles that live on them, they only live up to like a year, which I didn't know that.
I've heard, and I don't know if this is true because the gray whales had tons of barnacles on them, but I've heard that another reason the whales migrate south is because in the saltier water down there, it kills their barnacles so they fall off.
Oh, yeah. I heard that once they go into colder water, they'll die off.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So, yeah, that's, I guess, part of why they migrate, maybe, just to rid themselves of parasites. Like going to the spa.
I read that in the breeding grounds, in the mating grounds, when the calves are born, they're in that area where it's just they start clinging on. So there's in the water.
The larvae are in the water there.
Yeah, and they just immediately stick on, and they pretty much stay on until
they get scraped off.
Yeah, until they fall off or until something happens, or like we said, maybe in the colder water, they just die off.
I would definitely believe that, because how else do these whales have like white splotches all over their bodies? They can't scratch every surface of their body on the bottom of a boat. So they must fall off naturally for some reason. It must be because the temperature or, the salinity, or there's some reason. We've got to figure that out. I bet somebody knows.
It has to be balanced somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting. I love barnacles. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, did you see the hair bristles?
I did. Oh my gosh, that's one of the first things that came out of my mouth. So the first encounter that we had with the gray whale, when it came over and poked its head up, the first time I got to touch one, the first thing I said was, "Oh my gosh, it's whiskers!"
Oh,
because you could see them. They were all over. It reminded me of my doggy, my pit bull.
Really?
Her little chin whiskers. That's what it felt like. Oh my gosh.
How thick were they? Like, are they bigger to see in person, or just they're
No, they were very like small, really small.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like you could hardly see them, but you could.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, like, on humpback whales, the hairs on their face, so like little whiskers, come out of tubercles. So it's like this raised hair. What's it called? Hair follicle, basically.
Follicle, yeah.
Yeah, where like this whisker pokes out of, and we think that they use them just like to detect vibrations in the water, or changes in the water current, or things like that. Definitely to find food, I would assume, the vibrations in the water. Yeah. But they don't come out of tubercles on gray whales. I mean, humpbacks are the only species of whale that have tubercles. They have them
Oh,
all
okay.
over
So
their
does it just
heads.
come out of their skin?
Yeah,
Like there's nothing, like no bumps or anything right there?
not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. So
That's
I
really
thought
cool.
I thought that was interesting. I learned that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact, I did not know this until I did some research. Did and I guess, obviously everybody else listening, um, did you know that gray whales, they have like a nickname called devilfish?
Yes. So I was like telling Cameron about this when we were on the whale watch actually because this population of gray whales is so amazing because they
Mhm.
went from being viewed as devilfish because
Yeah.
to now their nickname is the friendly whale. So they like
Yeah.
did a complete 180. So well
It's
it's because I mean
crazy.
it's human perception, of course,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they used to call them devilfish because when they hunted them nearly to extinction, there was like
Yep.
almost no gray whales left and they've come
Mhm.
back and now their population is about like we think between 20 and 27,000.
Yeah, I think I read
So
27,000.
yeah, so it's gotten to a pretty stable point where they think that this is kind of their like holding capacity, I guess you could say, like
Mhm.
maybe. And I was learning this when I was down there too. It's because the lagoons have gotten smaller over time. So they
Oh, okay.
and there used to be less ice up in the Arctic.
Oh.
Way, like millions of years ago, we're talking.
Mhm.
Well, I think, or hundreds of thousands, I don't know, a long time ago. Um, and so back then, their holding capacity was like 150,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so now, like, they think their carrying capacity is about 27,000 ish.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's interesting. And there
that
was
is
a
interesting.
massive gray whale die off last year, and that could be a sign as well that like they've reached the point
Oh.
where like their resources are
Yeah.
only available to, about 27,000
Yeah,
before they start, I don't know, dying off.
that's true.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's weird because you look at these gray whales and you think devilfish, why would they be called that?
Oh,
It's so
but
weird.
yeah,
But
it's
because of these whalers
hmm the
constantly hunting them, I
oh
mean,
my gosh.
they were
Well, oh
aggressive
my
to protect
gosh, yes.
themselves and their calves.
We actually got to see a gray whale skeleton and a an old harpoon next to the gray
Oh,
whale to
wow.
see the size. Those harpoons were massive.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh, those gray whales didn't stand a chance, especially when you think about how easy it was because they swim into
Yeah.
these really shallow lagoons.
Yeah.
They're there by the hundreds. They're
Yeah.
breeding. There's like easy calves to get. It's the
Mhm.
most, if you are a whaler, that's like the most ideal location, the
Yeah.
easiest. And so that's why they were hunted like almost to extinction.
Yeah.
And that's why they were called devilfish because when they have a harpoon in their back, they killed many people. They fight back. They have little calves that they're protecting and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they definitely fought back. But then I was reading about like where this whole tradition of touching the gray whales came from,
Mhm.
and it just slowly happened when the gray whales started, rebounding in populations and returning to their old, breeding sites and things like
Yeah.
that. And when whaling, was banned,
Mhm.
um, the I don't know, I think they just started realizing that like seeing the whales and bringing people to see the whales is more
Yeah.
profitable and
Yeah.
better for
It's
everyone.
educational. You're still
Yeah.
getting profit
And
from it.
so
I mean, come on.
I think the first couple people that went out and started interacting with these whales, the whales just, just started
Yeah.
being friendly and it's
Yeah, and
just
look how much that's changed too. It's like now these animals are coming up to your boat, doing spy hopping, wanting
yeah.
you to touch them.
Yeah.
And
It's
compared to, I mean, it's just crazy to think how much of the human interaction has changed
yeah.
and how they realize that. That's the crazy thing to
Yeah.
me.
And I
Is
was actually
that's how smart they are. Is they've realized that we're not hunting them. We're there because they're beautiful and we want to touch them and experience them.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking about it on the trip because these gray whales, I'm not 100% sure on what their like average lifespan is, but I know that I've heard that they can live, 70, maybe 80.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time. And there
Yeah.
are whales that could have been around during those periods of time. Like there could still be the
That's true,
original whales in the population that kind of rebounded the whole population. They could still be out there. And I was thinking that as I was like looking at these whales and talking to these whales, I was like, you could have experienced whalers, and now you're experiencing this gentle, loving, it's so different. And I had my GoPro pole in the water, and I thought about the fact that like I hope it didn't remind them of a harpoon. I was like, I don't want to trigger that memory for you.
Oh my gosh.
If you were alive back then. But maybe, maybe they have like knowledge that's been passed down to them from those ancestors. Like we don't know.
Yeah. Like what goes on through their minds.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. One other really, really cool thing. I will send you this as soon as we get off the podcast. You could hear them vocalizing down there with my GoPro. And the sound that it was called, I had to Google it because I didn't know what it was called when gray whales they don't have vocal cords, but make, sounds. We call them vocalizations. They don't have vocal cords. They make these sounds through their nasal passageways by manipulating their nasal passages and pushing air through muscles in that area. So that's how they do it. But it's called a pong pong. That's what it's called. The sound the gray whales make. And it's literally like, I was going to try to do the noise, but I couldn't even replicate it. It sounds like, I want to say like robotic in a way.
Oh.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'll put it up and I will send it to you. It's really, really cool.
I'm gonna have to look up on YouTube or something.
I've never heard of it before. Like. It honestly sounds like pong pong.
Oh, I wonder if Mambari has something.
Definitely, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Yeah, although I did Google like gray whale vocalizations to figure out if what I was hearing in my GoPro video was actually that, and it was kind of hard to find. Oh. There wasn't a lot out there, so that's why I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Because I just put it up. I just put it up on YouTube, and really, there's nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna upload a YouTube video of it then. Definitely.
Yeah, I would, because and anything that's popping up, it says blue whale, humpback whale. I mean, there's one from 6 years ago. I wonder if it'll have a sound or not. Let's see.
I think I had to find it on Google somehow.
Oh. Hold on, I'm trying to see.
Oh, I wish I could play the audio like on the podcast. That'd be hard.
I know. I know. I was trying to listen to the YouTube to see if it would play it, but maybe we can just post, if you find the clip of the girl on the GoPro, maybe we can like edit it and just post it for people so they can hear it too.
Yeah, I'll post it right after the podcast and just say that this is like kind of what we talked about.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't know what time we're at.
We're at 62 minutes, but we did record like 4, almost 5 minutes in though.
Okay.
So we're still less than an hour.
Okay. Is there any other questions on your list?
Let me see.
Or fun facts?
So we talked about how they felt.
Yeah.
And apparently you saw hundreds, because that was one of my questions.
Oh my gosh.
Bristles, obviously they were pretty active.
Yes, they were breaching and everything. All over. Yeah, it was.
It's crazy because for those of you that don't know, which I guess we kind of talked about it, how their activity in Baja is very different from Monterey.
Yes.
So if anybody hasn't visited Monterey, so these gray whales, this specific population is the Eastern Pacific population, and they migrate from Baja and they go to the Monterey area. And they go over this Monterey Canyon that they have. And this is a really tough spot for them because they're trying to migrate with their calves. And at this, I would say April, even now sometimes, orcas or killer whales, whichever name you prefer.
They're both correct.
I know, they're both right. But they start heading to the Monterey area. and I've heard that they go under this canyon and they kind of go underneath these gray whales, and that's how they kind of start hunting them, and they separate the moms and the calves. So I know it can sound depressing and you guys might not want to hear it, but that's just something else that kind of happens in Monterey, and their activity changes a lot. They're way more mellow. They're not
they're
likely
shy
to
and
around
quiet.
that time. They're very shy. They're very quiet. I know that I want to say they're a little active right now in Monterey, but I think pretty soon they're going to be coming in just very mellow and quiet.
Yeah,
just
I
because
think
the orcas are coming in soon.
I think maybe the reason that they're more active in Monterey right now is because I'm trying to think actually like why they would be mellow right now. It's probably because they're not worried about getting eaten. Like,
yeah,
either the orca don't want the newborn calves because there's no fat on them yet, and they don't want the full adults because they're very big and very strong, and they don't want to have to take down a big adult. So they target the few month-old calves that have quite a bit of fat on them, but they're still pretty easy targets, especially when you work together as a pod. And so they line up their time in Monterey with the fresh, few months old calves.
A strategy that they have.
100%. Sure. That's another reason. Like, these animals are insanely intelligent. I don't know. It's just, it's mind-boggling. It's so cool.
It really is. Yeah. Oh, so I think that's pretty much the questions I at least had on here. I don't really think there was anything else that I wanted to bring up other than what I already brought up.
Perfect. Well,
Unless
oh my gosh.
we have anything else. I mean, I'm sure we can go on and on.
I know. I really could, but I can't recommend it enough for people to go experience. It's like there's nothing like it in the world. So if you have the opportunity to do it, 100% do it. Yeah. It was so amazing.
Really, really, really want to experience something like that, I believe anybody can make it happen.
Yeah,
go figure out a little budget plan to where you can save up.
Yeah, and I understand like that's not realistic for everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel really lucky that we were able to make it happen, but it is really, it was worth everything. So yeah, but oh my gosh. But anyway, to anybody who is listening, like, if you do want to know more about anything at all, like, shoot me a message, because I really like to hear from you guys. It's really cool.
Yeah, if there's anything about gray whales that you guys want to know and we didn't talk about, I know the next episode we'll probably talk about the whale sharks, so maybe we can ask people on our Instagram, maybe before we record next, if you guys have questions about whale sharks, message us or leave a question in our latest post, and maybe we can try to answer a bunch of those when we do our next recording.
Yes. Oh, yay! Yes, that was so fun. Okay, I could literally talk about that for years.
I know.
So I will probably, like, from now on in the future, like, refer to that quite a bit, because that was just, I learned a lot, and it was the best thing ever for me. So yeah.
I'm so happy that you were able to do that.
Me too.
I'm so excited for you.
Too. It was so good. And I can't wait to do it with you next year.
I know. I'm telling you. I'm already.
How are we going to do Hawaii and Mexico?
I know. I'm like, holy crap.
We should it's hard. I was going to say we should maybe do Hawaii, but I really want you to experience this.
I know.
But that's just a whole different experience. So, like, that would be incredible too. You know, I've never heard the humpback sing. I really need to hear that. It's all of the whale nerds posts about this, like, everything is just magical.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Just from the GoPro that they had.
Yes, and it's really cool.
You can hear it on there. Yeah.
So stay tuned for all of our future trips about whales and oceans.
Yes, because there may be some more trips coming up, which I don't know if I told you, Erica, but I'm going back to Peru.
Back to Peru? I saw that.
Yes, I'm going back at the end of May, and there's a possibility I might go to an island, which I'll have to look up, and I'm not sure yet, because it's kind of a last minute thing that I saw, and I'm trying to coordinate it, but I might go swim with the sea lions there.
Yes.
So,
I've never done that. That would be amazing.
I know. I'm really excited. So I'm in contact with someone that's setting me up with a different person to kind of coordinate it and see if we can make it happen in our itinerary. So we'll see. I'll keep
that's
everybody
gonna be
posted if I
so
end up
cool.
doing it.
If you do, you should take my GoPro somehow. Like, I'll send it to you, and you should use it because that would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I know we have an old one, but I'll have to like retest it because it's like really, really old. It's like one of the older
Yeah,
GoPros.
my captain on the whale shark tour. He was like, "Is the GoPro 7 a big, or is the GoPro 8 a big step up from the GoPro 7?" And I was like, "I don't know. I had the GoPro 3 and then moved up to the 8. So yes, there's a big difference."
I think that's mine. I think that's my old one. I
Yeah.
even asked Christian, I'm like, because after you told me about your GoPro, I'm like, what number are they on now?
Yeah, I
I have no
know. I
idea.
think they're on 8. I think there's
Okay.
like a max, but anyway, yeah, we could talk about that for ages.
All right, we should end this here
Yes,
before we
and then we'll
keep
just get off
going.
the phone and chat.
I know. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for all your feedback, all your messages, all your comments, just
Yes.
everything. We really appreciate it. We love hearing from you guys, and we try to respond pretty quickly. So, if, like I said, if you guys have questions or topic suggestions or anything that we didn't answer, definitely ask away.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in our next episode.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.